Okay, let's dive into chapter 6 of Hosea for this deep dive. It really opens with this powerful call, doesn't it? A call to return.
It does. Straight away. Come, let us return to the Lord. And it doesn't shy away from the pain, acknowledges He has torn us. He has injured us.
Right, but immediately there's this promise.
Exactly. Paired right with it. But He will heal us. He will bind up our wounds. So the tearing isn't the final word.
And it gets pretty specific about, the timeline. After 2 days, on the third day, revival, restoration, living in His presence. Sounds hopeful.
Very hopeful. And God's appearance is presented as, well, totally certain, like the sunrise.
Yeah, as surely as the sun rises. And like rain, essential rain.
Like the winter rains, like the spring rains.
Right.
So reliable, life-giving. It sets a really positive stage.
But then, almost immediately, there's this whiplash, a total change in tone.
Complete shift. Suddenly it's God speaking, and the feeling is just frustration. What can I do with you, Ephraim? What can I do with you, Judah?
It sounds almost anguished. And the reason, their love, their devotion.
It's fleeting. That's the core complaint. Like the morning mist, like the early dew that disappears.
Wow. Beautiful image, but devastating in context. It's just unstable.
Utterly. And that instability, that lack of real substance, it leads to judgment. It's not just threatened, it's happened.
Oh, so.
The text says, "Therefore I cut you in pieces with my prophets. I killed you with the words of my mouth."
So the prophet's words themselves became the instrument of judgment. Because they weren't heeded.
That's how it reads. My judgments flashed like lightning upon you. The message itself carried the consequence.
Okay, so judgment delivered. But right after that, the text clarifies what God actually wants. And it's maybe not what you'd expect.
Definitely not if you're just focused on the rituals. It's that key verse.
Right.
For I desire mercy, not sacrifice.
An acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings.
Exactly. It's a huge statement. It prioritizes the inward reality, loyalty, compassion, truly knowing God relationally over the external religious acts.
So the sacrifices, the burnt offerings, they were important parts of the system. But here, God's saying something else matters more.
He's saying the outward stuff is meaningless or even offensive if the heart isn't right, if mercy and acknowledgement aren't there.
And the text doesn't just leave it general. It lists specific, pretty awful failures.
Oh, yeah, it gets graphic. Breaking the covenant like Adam. That takes it right back to the beginning, a fundamental betrayal.
Like a foundational crack in the relationship. And then Gilead.
Described as a city of wicked men stained with footprints of blood. Just brutal imagery. Violence is ingrained.
Footprints of blood.
Yeah.
Chilling. And it's not just the average person, right? The corruption goes higher.
All the way to the top, or at least to the religious leaders. Bands of priests acting like marauders.
Like highway robbers.
Basically, yeah. Ambushing and murdering on the road to Shechem, committing shameful crimes, the very people meant to guide our predators.
That's a profound breakdown. And then there's the mention of Israel or Ephraim involved in prostitution.
Which, in this context, often means more than just physical acts. It points strongly towards spiritual unfaithfulness, idolatry, breaking that exclusive covenant bond. Defilement.
Right, chasing other gods or political alliances instead of trusting God. And Judah doesn't get off scot-free either.
No, just a brief, ominous note for Judah. A harvest is appointed. Judgment is coming for them too.
So you have this stark contrast packed into one chapter. This beautiful opening promise, healing, revival, God's reliable presence like the sun and rain. And then immediately, this catalog of deep, systemic sin, fleeting love, broken promises, violence, corrupt priests, spiritual adultery. How do those two things even fit together?
Well, that tension is kind of the point, isn't it? The promise is there, the path to return is offered, but the description of their actual lives shows just how far off that path they are.
Their actions fundamentally contradict the conditions needed for that healing.
Exactly. These aren't minor slip-ups. They're betrayals that cut to the core of the relationship and societal morality.
So in the face of that level of failure, why does the text insist the answer is mercy and acknowledgement, not more sacrifices? What does that choice tell us?
It tells us the rituals became hollow. You can perform sacrifices all day long, but if priests are murdering people and the society is steeped in violence and infidelity, the sacrifices don't fix anything. They might even be an attempt to cover it up.
Like trying to paper over deep cracks.
Right. The only genuine way back, the text implies, is a radical change within. Cultivating real mercy towards others and developing that deep relational acknowledgement, truly knowing and relating to God in a way that changes how you live, not just going through religious motions.
It forces you to redefine what faithfulness actually looks like. It's not just about showing up for the ritual.
Precisely. It's about the heart, the actions, the relationships.
So here's something to chew on. Considering this stark contrast, the open door to restoration, right alongside this picture of profound failure and shallow devotion, what does the text demand for mercy, not sacrifice, ultimately challenge you, the listener, to understand about what God truly values, what's required for authentic return?